Today is a good day. Don't ask me why I look very ethereal right now. I don't know what's happening to my camera. It's just suddenly blurry and it sucks. But today is a good day. You want to know why? So the reason today is a good day is because I'm doing the Hollow Knight and Silksong boss ranking. The Sea of Sorrows is coming out soon, but I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get ahead of it. I want to rank all these bosses. I'm not going to delay anymore. I've played majority of these bosses twice, probably more, with the exception of a couple of the late game Silksong bosses. I still haven't done like Act 3 again or Act 2. Oh, like the very late game of Act 2. So I can't really, I'll do my best on the commenting for those ones, but I have only fought them like a few times in the one like playthrough. But I do have to say, the reason I'm having such a good day is because yesterday I lost my Steel Soul save. 7 hours, 30 minutes, and I lost it to a random enemy in the Whispering Vaults for Silksong. And I'm pretty mad, so I thought, why don't I just increase my joy by reminding myself that it is just a game and it is my favorite gaming series of all time. So, without further ado, let's begin. These guys look like they're actually in order, but I'm going to rank Gruzmother first. And I'm going to put her in C tier. Because I think Gruzmother is the first boss that I fought for Hollow Knight. I think it's a good starting boss. I wouldn't say it's the best first boss. That is obviously going to go to the next guy. But I still think that Gruzmother is like, it's okay. I think the fact that she just bounces around, it's good for like a beginner to sort of get used to. Yeah, I don't think there's much to say about Gruzmother. She's a very basic boss and becomes like an enemy later on in the game in the Colosseum. Next one. False Knight. I'm going to put False Knight in A tier. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say they hate False Knight. False Knight is one of the best, I would say one of the best bosses like in both games. As far as a beginning boss goes, I think this does it like perfectly. The only reason it's not S tier is because like it's not that difficult and it's kind of a boring fight like once you're more experienced in the game, but like obviously it gets a little bit down in the points for replayability, but other than that, he's a great first boss. His attacks are like super slow and you can learn to actually probably dodge the bosses. Vengefly. Is Vengefly better or worse than Gruzmother? I'm gonna say Gruzmother's better. I don't know, Vengefly's a weird one for me because he has sort of like a sweet spot in my heart. Because, like, he does summons and things, but you also have that really cool, like, speedrun tech where you can just do, like, 3 fireballs and, like, 2 nail hits and he'll die. And that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool, but other than that, I really don't see this boss making it anything higher than a C tier because, I mean, it's just kind of a boring boss. What is his attacks? He summons and swoops down. That's it. There's your attack. I don't know. Kind of a boring boss, but I can respect putting it in for the early game. Like it's still a decent challenge. I remember my sister had a lot of trouble with this boss, so we'll keep him in C. I hate the fact that I have to do this to you. That's tough. I actually forgot the bush's name at this point. I keep wanting to call it Moss Mother, but it's not Moss Mother. I'm too Silksong brained right now. Oh, Massive Moss Charger, that's it. Yeah, this guy, he charges at you. The only redeeming qualities of this boss is you can do like a constant backup and attack, and then you can hit him and kill him from that. What else? I think... Do I like Hornet more than I like False Knight? Yes, I do. I think Hornet for an early game is like really challenging, but I think she's a bit like the skill wall. She's the brick wall that you hit. It'll probably be the first time you get like a proper challenge in this game. Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe Hornet 1. She's still very slow though. Like playing through the game again, I feel she's just not doing a lot. If that makes sense. Because you have like more experience with all of these other bosses that are coming. So yeah, I don't know. She has the same problem as False Knight, where, at least to me, when I'm running through the game again, I feel like they're just a brick wall that you need to they're a hurdle that you need to get over, more so than you actually have fun fighting the boss. Now, I can't say the same for these guys. These guys are S tier. Or are they S tier? Or are they the top of A tier? I'd say the top of A tier, because I still have fun with this fight. I have 800 hours in Hollow Knight. This boss is still fun. I can't say the same about Hornet or False Knight. Mantis Lords, I fought these guys really early as well. These guys were directly after Hornet for me. So they actually were in the order of this. I actually played these guys in the order that they came out. Oh, sorry, no. I fought Hornet, then I fought Moss Charger. But yeah, then I fought Mantis Lords. Because I just found them and I thought I needed to go in that way. And then I just beat them from there. And then I think I left Deep Nest after I won. Anyway, yeah. So I fought these guys really early on with like no upgrades. It was fun. It was a really fun fight. I really enjoyed it. The fight is so fluid. They're all directional attacks. So you can dodge all of it. Like everything feels like your fault if you get hit. Great punish game. They're fast. They're just fast enough to give you like a challenge. You have to turn your brain on for them. Once you get more experienced, it's very much easier, but then you can sort of like go into the styling of fighting them. And that actually goes with Hornet as well. Utilizing your fireballs and like punishing them every time she jumps, for example. Those are actually good benefits that they have. And the cheat wall that False Knight has as well. Like, all of these fights have like little bonus things that you can toss in. With Mantis Lords in particular, I like to pogo them when they're dashing across the, like horizontally. And then once you pogo, you can dash with them and then pogo them again. That feels really good to do. So I think that's why I'm going to keep them in A tier. They're not S tier though, because there are better bosses though. Soul Warrior, I have to put him in C just because he doesn't feel like a boss. I don't know. This boss just doesn't feel the best to fight. It's not really a boss. It's kind of not a big fan. I don't know. There's not much to say about this guy. He's sort of, he just, when you see him, he's in the same level as these two here. I think he's better than Vengefly. No, I don't like him more than Vengefly. That's just not true. I really don't like this boss, actually. No, he's still fun. He's still fun to fight. I can't say the same for this guy. I don't know. I'm going to leave it there for now, but boring fight. He attacks what? Up from the side, shoots a laser thing, shoots a ball. That's it. Soul Master, he's so good. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in A tier there. I think this is a solid fight. I really enjoy Soul Warrior. Oh, sorry, not Soul Warrior. Soul Master. His later variant, I'll save that for later. But I think, do I like Soul Master more? I don't know. I'll see. I'll think about it. But Soul Master, his attacks are really, I guess, really punishing. It kind of feels like a gate, like Hornet. It's another one of those battles that are really difficult when you first do it, but once you get more experienced in the game, you look back at the fight and you go, wow, this is super easy. But it's like good attacks. He has super good attacks. He teleports all over the place, and you can sort of get into a rhythm with the boss. It's very much like a dance, similar to the Mantis Lords. Yeah, very solid boss. And then that fake out at the end of the boss. Oh, cinema. I love that. Yeah, A tier. I'm keeping him A tier. Dung Defender. I'm going to put him here in A tier. I might even move False Knight down to B. No, False Knight deserves A tier. I like False Knight. But I do like Dung Defender, but I just don't think he's as good as Soul Master or Mantis Lords. I'm going to keep it like this. I was thinking of putting them all down into B tier, but I'll keep it like this for now. Dung Defender? I like the attacks. I like him as a character. And my favorite bit about it is that you can Desolate Dive and you knock him out of the ground. Like, that's a really cool concept. You know what? I'm actually going to throw these guys down into B. I know this sounds like really weird, but I'm just thinking there are Silksong bosses coming up, and I know for a fact that I enjoy a lot of the Silksong bosses more than the Hollow Knight bosses, just because of the complexity of the fights. And I'm thinking these guys are not going to be able to keep up to par with some of the guys that are coming soon. Fluke Mom, however, is not going to be able to compete. I don't like this boss. The only time I have liked this boss was when I played Hollow Knight All Bindings, and then I used Cyclone Slash like 5 different times while using Abyss Shriek, just to kill the boss. It was the only time I actually felt like I was skilled and deserved a win from Fluke Mom. Just a boring fight. Crystal Guardian. I think the concept of this guy is really cool. I'm not going to put him above Gruzmo. Actually, I think he deserves above Gruzmo. I think he's like top of C, because him sitting on the bench is what I think makes this fight. It's super cool to try and get to a bench, and then all of a sudden there's this beast that's just on it, and you don't know what to do. That's just cool to me. His attacks, though, kind of lame. I like the fact that you can't pogo on him. I think encouraging a side-on fight is actually a lot better, because so far, majority of these bosses you could probably like get some form of pogo off and not have to worry about it too much. Yeah. I think that's where I'm going to leave him, at C tier. Gorb! Where am I going to put Gorb? Look, if we're thinking characters in general, this guy would be up the top, right? But as far as the boss fight goes, I cannot put this guy high. He sucks, man. I hate fighting Gorb. I don't like Zero either. Look, I'm going to be honest, all of the Dreamer bosses kind of suck. Mamu. Where am I gonna put these guys? I think Zero's definitely better, but is he that high? No, I like Zero more than I like Soul Warrior. Do I like Zero more than Vengefly? Not really. I don't think this boss is very good, because this Fluke Mom, you can at least use her for soul. You know, she's like a punching bag. Whereas this guy, he just teleports around and is annoying. Like, I don't want to fight this guy. Same with Zero. He's sort of, his fight is fine, but it's just kind of boring. He shoots knives. That's his thing. That's it. 2 knives, and then, oh, you get him to what, half health or a quarter health or something? 4 knives. He's a little bit faster. It's not a good boss. Mamu can frick off too. If you've fought Mamu, you know that this boss sucks. There's not even any question. The physics roundabout thing, oh my god, just get out of here with that. Markoth is at least interesting. I think he's better than this boss. I would not put him in B tier though, because this guy, oh my god. Oh, I need tea, hold on. Oh, when I need tea, you know I'm about to go on a rant. I hate this guy, because he was the reason that it took me, I think I spent 5 hours trying to get this guy in Radiant difficulty. This guy was a nightmare. I hated this boss. This boss sucked. Oh, I'm angry. Oh, I do not like this boss. This guy in Absrad was an absolute pain. I will never do this on Radiant again. That was so frustrating. Just because of the random shields that he would spawn in every single time, and then he would shoot just the random needles everywhere. It's like Zero, but annoying. Frick you, Markoth. Elder Who is even worse than any of these guys before him, because his ability is that he teleports away from you and does like the pancake thing over and over again, and I just have to wait. I just have to sit there like twiddling my dick around. This guy sucks. He sucks. Galleon's okay, but he's not. Is he on par with False Knight? No. I feel like the comments are just gonna be like, never let him cook again, but this guy sucks. He's this guy frustrates me as well. But I like him more than Markoth by far. I think he's my favorite Dreamer, to be honest. Actually, yeah, I think he is my favorite Dreamer. I kind of actually do like Galleon. Yeah, I like Galleon. I do like Galleon because he doesn't teleport away. He's like the only Dreamer that doesn't teleport away from you and like annoy you. He doesn't take a lot of knockback, so you can sort of just sponge your attacks into him and it works. And you know what? That feels good. That feels really good to do. I like that feeling. So on pure vibes, I would say that's good. His blades as well. Usually when you fight him, you have Shade Cloak, so you don't really have to worry about the blades too much. But I think it encourages you to space out right. I don't like the randomness of it, really. It's kind of annoying. I mean, I say randomness, but there's not too much randomness in this fight to annoy you. I think you have to get really unlucky if you get punished too hard by this boss. I still think he's okay. He's okay, but he's not near. I wouldn't say Hollow Knight boss and think of Galleon. I think of False Knight when I think Hollow Knight boss. You know, that makes sense. No Eyes. I like the vibe of No Eyes, but I don't like the fight. I think the creepy atmosphere is what really makes this boss, but the teleportation everywhere and the ghosts just flying around the screen, it's not fun. It's not fun to fight. I do not feel good when I fight this boss. It's not fun. So I'm just gonna have to put him like down. I don't know. I'd say around here is okay. I don't think too much about the dream bosses. I'll be honest, I am not excited to fight the dream bosses again. Keep in mind, 800 hours in the game, I've fought these guys, especially the Hollow Knight bosses. I'm pretty much an expert at all of them. I've done Pantheon 5 with the individual bindings. I haven't done it all bindings yet. I'm close, but I've got it with the individual bindings. I know these bosses back to front, and I can just say that I'm never excited when I fight pretty much anything C and below. It's funny, because any of the easy bosses are kind of boring, but I think later on we'll get like the harder bosses, obviously with the exception of, say, False Knight, because he's the first boss of the game. He's awesome. Hornet, she's such an iconic character. But anything else, it'll be sort of the harder we get, the more fun they'll be. At least I think that pattern will continue. It'll be interesting to see how you view that for Silksong, though. I love Broken Vessel. I think this is one of the perfect bosses in Hollow Knight. I think it's great that the knight gets to fight something of equal size, but I also like the fact that the moveset is sort of like a Mantis Lord's, but it also has like additional stuff on top. It shoots out things, and then when you replay it, it's still a satisfying fight. It's still good to fight this boss. I actually prefer Broken Vessel over Lost Kin, which I know is crazy. I know that is quite the stance to have, but I think I prefer Broken Vessel. This is the one time where I'd say like the easiness factor actually makes it better. Yeah, but I know it's probably controversial to put him on S tier. I'd say a lot of people would put him like A. Who knows? I might change it, but I do have I have a special place in my heart for Broken Vessel. Top of C tier, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I actually kind of frick with this boss. I kind of like him. I think his attacks where he like spits out all of the goop, kind of boring, but then he has the spitting of the goop all the way out, like a bunch of it, and then you have to move from one side of the arena to the other. I think doing this boss, fighting this boss extremely early, like as early as you can basically fight this boss first. That's fun. That is actually a really good challenge. I recommend people try it, if they haven't already. I think this boss, where it's at and being a side boss that you don't even have to fight, really, if you want to beat the game, I think it's a good optional boss, and where its location is encourages it. And, you know, a mask shard as a reward, not bad. That's pretty good. I'd say it's a solid boss, but as we get further on, it's not like hard to kill. It's not that amazing. It's okay. It's an okay boss. C tier is still not bad. I just have to say, all of these bosses could be A tier in other games, except maybe the D tier. Yeah, they kind of suck. But I'd say even the C tier ones still have a good chance of being interesting in other games, so it just shows the quality of the bosses in Hollow Knight and Silksong. Enraged Guardian. Is it more fun? I would say yes. I would say I'd put him at the bottom of B. I don't really like the double damage in this fight. I think double damage is kind of a scam for this boss. I think the faster attacks should have just been enough. Especially when this boss jumps. I feel like if they got rid of the double damage on the jump, I feel like this boss would be a lot better. But it's because the contact damage from the random jumps that this boss does is so frustrating that, I don't know, I can't put it higher because that's just annoying. But other than that, summoning the lasers, shooting the lasers, it's pretty much the same fight. It's just a little bit more difficult. Faster boss, wouldn't necessarily say it's amazing or like super better, but it's a little bit better, I guess. Nosk. I kind of don't like this fight, I'm not gonna lie. This is really going to show how much I've played Hollow Knight, and I might just be sick of the bosses at this rate, because I'm getting a lot of C and D. This boss, I think he's alright. He's alright. But I think he just runs around all over the place. It's another case of simple boss design. I think when he crawls on the roof and the fact that you can do Howling Rates or an Abyss Shriek to kill the boss faster, that's a good bonus to have for this boss, because it encourages people with a higher skill level to be able to exploit that. And I think any boss that has that is going to be automatically better. Like if you can speedrun half these bosses with interesting techniques, that instantly makes the boss cooler. Oh, we got a juicy boss on the next one. Umu? If we're talking about the non-Pantheon, that would be it. I really like the Pantheon version though. I would put Pantheon version like here. So I'm gonna have to do like a middle ground and put it here. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B tier, only because the non-Pantheon version is just frustrating because you're waiting around a bunch and it just sucks. The Pantheon version is super fun because you get to hit the jellyfish and you can guide the missiles into the explosion. If you time things right, you can do multiple hits on the jellyfish and just kill Umu straight out. It's very much like, it is RNG based, but I think this is actually a good RNG based fight. I'm talking specifically about the Pantheon. I do not like the original fight. I think the original fight in the game sucks. I think it's probably the worst fight in the game, especially because it's necessary. So you don't even have, you can't even like miss it. You have to fight this boss every single time you want to beat the game. Not fun. Not fun. There is a redeeming factor with these in which, unless you are doing 100%, you can actually just skip out on these bosses. Umu, you can't do anything about that. You're going to fight them. Watcher Knights, top of A, not really a question. The fact that there's 6 of them, and I think they have the perfect amount of health for it to feel satisfying when you destroy them, if that makes sense. Like if you put a couple of D-Darks in and then wipe them out, it just feels good. It's the vibe of the fight above everything. They have very basic attacks. I do like their rolling, and I like that you can D-Dark through the rolling and it doesn't block any form of damage. I think it's quite a solid fight. Yeah, not really much to say about this one. I think anyone who has played the Watcher Knights just gets that vibe of, yeah, they're cool. This guy. What's his face? Collector. I don't think this boss is that bad, but it's going in the bottom of B because I think the strategy that I use makes this boss more fun, at least in the Pantheon, the Cyclone Slash. Where you are in the game, you probably should have the slashes anyway. I would say that the enemies that he summons, it is kind of a gank fight of just summoning enemies and then hopping around like an idiot, but I don't think it's too difficult to be able to get rid of him. So I'm not really going to complain too much about its difficulty. It's not really that hard. I'd say the only thing that makes it hard would be if you were doing this fight all bindings, in which case this boss would be down here. But we're not doing all bindings. This is not an all bindings run. I'm going to say that this is actually an okay boss. Ooh, Hive Knight. I think what sullied this boss fight for me is the fact that I have done all bindings a lot, and I had to start Pantheon 3 a lot. And this boss is at the start, and I've fought this boss probably 100 times. And I'm telling you, it's fun at the start, but it's not fun on the 100th go. I'm gonna put him... That being said, I still like him pretty decently. Or her. I don't know if it's a her. It's an okay boss. I'd say it's better than Dung Defender as a boss fight. I think the fast pace action of everything is good. And it's at a level in the game where you should be getting fast-paced bosses. You should be getting bosses that will punish you for movement mistakes and things like that. The bees, kind of annoying. I don't like the fact that when you knock them, they sort of will, I guess, maneuver a little bit and won't get like a full knockback. It feels weird. The bees in this fight feel very uncomfortable to fight around. Just like when you hit them, it just doesn't feel right. The bad vibes. I don't like the vibes of that. But I do like that you can get soul from the bees, and I think that's a benefit. Yeah, I'm gonna put top B B for B tier. Bees, get it. Zote. Oh yeah. I mean, what can you say? This guy's S tier. Great fight. Peak. Nah. Okay. I think, even though this is a joke, I actually like this fight quite a bit. I'm actually going to put him here. I like the fact that you can just pummel him. Even though the fight itself is nothing, it's the fact that you're doing the entire Colosseum to get up to him. You get that excited boss fight. You're like, oh my god, this is going to be so intense. And then you run into Zote, and then you can finally get him for all the shit that he's been giving you throughout the entire game. You can finally just beat down on the guy. That's awesome. That's fantastic. I'm going to put that in B tier. That feels so good. I can't complain about that. Obolobbles. I'm going to put them there. No, actually, I like them more. I feel like you're too high. You're too high. I don't like you a lot. You kind of suck. Your atmosphere is amazing, though. Obolobbles is a fight. About there. I'm gonna say there. Yeah. Shooting them with your Vengeful Spirit is a good feeling. And they're not too hard, but the fact that they just have one attack where they just shoot out and then you kill one and then the other one gets angry. It's like, oh no. The horror. Yeah, I don't know. I think Obolobbles are fine. They're kind of mediocre. I'm finding that a lot of the Hollow Knight bosses are bottom loaded. That sounds so weird. But like the bottom of the tier list is very loaded in these bosses. They're just okay. They're not incredible fights that I would be like, yeah, I want to fight that again. Like Soul Master, Mantis Lords, Watcher Knights, Broken Vessel. Those fights are fights that I would literally just hop in the game right now and I'd go to them. I would want to fight them again. So I think that's my condition for A tier. I might actually change that, like, want to fight. This one is peak. I'll put this one as decent. Put this one as nice. Put this one as booty cheeks. Yeah, so now I've fixed it. Peak, want to fight, nice, decent, booty cheeks. I feel like there needs to be an extra tier in this somewhere, but I can't be bothered. I feel, yeah. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. This boss is decent. I don't think it's too amazing. You have the Beast. This is at the end of the Colosseum 3, which I don't know. The reason it's an easy boss is because it's at the end of Colosseum 3. If it wasn't at the end of Colosseum 3, this boss would just be bad. But I think the positive of it being a basic boss is also the negative, because it's at the end of a Colosseum. If you fail on this quote-unquote easy boss, you have to do the entire Colosseum again. And I failed once before. I did this boss in 2 tries. The first time I failed, I was like, bro. I was so mad. Yeah, I remember. I was not happy. But it's okay. It's okay. By itself, it's an alright boss. I'm just going to keep it there. Soul Tyrant. I don't like Soul Tyrant as much as I like Soul Master. I think the novelty of Soul Master is what makes it special for me. Soul Tyrant, yeah, it's a harder difficulty. But I'm like, it's okay, but it's not amazing. I don't like it as much. Actually, the one thing I do like about Soul Tyrant that I prefer over the original Soul Master is when he does the continuous dives, because you can jump, hit him, dash out of the way, and then as he's coming down, you can hit him again. That rhythm feels really satisfying to get down. That's why I actually prefer the final phase of Soul Tyrant. But I think the more basic fight is actually something I prefer. Because of like how special it is originally, I still hold it above the Soul Tyrant. Lost Kin. Top of A, or want to fight tier. I think, as I said before, Broken Vessel I prefer. I like the more... some of these fights I do just like the more basic variant. You'll see what I feel about Failed Champion. But Lost Kin, I think the boss is okay. Well, I mean, the boss is awesome. Don't get me wrong. The boss is really cool. But I don't think it differentiates itself enough from the Broken Vessel fight to warrant a different version. Like, what does he do that's different? He throws out 6 of the little orb things instead of 4. He doesn't have that final phase where he's melting around and shooting up all the blobs. And he summons guys. That's so a summon boss fight. I don't really want to deal with that. I don't think anyone wants to really deal with that. I wouldn't say that makes a fight better. But he is still, like, in the end, it's a different version of Broken Vessel. So it's still a good fight. Ooh, Zote. Glorious, powerful. That's what I wanted to say. Glorious, powerful, beautiful, grey Prince Zote. I would put him at peak. Yeah, this guy is awesome. His fight originally seems super random, so it feels really difficult to try and get the fight down. But once you figure it out, there is a rhythm to this fight that you can't explain. It just feels good to fight him. I feel like dodging every single move from Prince Sot is just solid. Especially when he does his massive dive and you desolate dive through it. Oh, awesome. I've beaten all of these bosses with all bindings, by the way. So beating him, it was hard. Don't get me wrong, it was difficult, but still extremely fun. I think I actually had a lot of fun trying to fight him in, I think I had in my video. He did take a long time though. He takes a lot of effort to try and beat, but yeah, this guy gets, probably around here, I'm gonna be honest. I despise this fight. I think this fight is the only fight in the entire game that I can say... Actually, no, that's not true. I was going to say I didn't have down, but I definitely have it down because I've done it all bindings, so I can't really say that I don't like fully understand the fight. But I never feel comfortable fighting him. Because of the double damage and the speed that he does things, it just feels weird fighting him. And I don't know how I can explain that better. I think he's almost too fast with his reactions, and you can't dodge through him, which is something that annoys me a lot. He's just big enough that when you dodge through, you still get hit with 2 masks of damage. And I think the 2 mask contact damage, again, is really stupid. You'll see later on I have more problems with this. Just not amazing. I think he's better than Dung Defender. I think he's better than Hive Knight. I don't prefer him over Soul Tyrant or anything like that. I think he's okay. I never really liked Dung Defender's boss fight as much as everybody else did. I like the fact that you can juggle him as well. I think that actually is, once again, one of those speedrun techniques that you can use. So if you have the ability to do it, you know, do it. But other than that, I wouldn't put him much higher. Let me just turn my air conditioner on. Yeah, I wouldn't really put him much higher than this. He's nice, as it said. He's a nice fight, but I wouldn't put him above Soul Tyrant. No way. Bounces around. He's fast paced, which is good. The fact that he can like punch the ground and has all those spikes come out, that's pretty cool. And I like dodging away from that. That feels good. But the turd throws. Don't really like the turd throws, I'm gonna be honest. Not fun. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep him there. Hornet Sentinel. Faster pace Hornet. I actually like her more than I like White Defender. Yeah, I'm gonna keep Hornet Sentinel. Is it Sentinel? Is this one Sentinel? No, Hornet Sentinel's this one. What's this one? Hornet. Oh, Hornet 2. Yeah. It's just better Hornet, faster Hornet. The spikes everywhere in the arena, difficult to deal with, sort of, but I mean, once you're experienced enough, it becomes very easy to get through this boss. I just don't think she has a lot of health. I think she's quite a squishy boss. I think White Defender has more health than Hornet Sentinel. Yeah, I don't know. I think she could have done with a health buff, to be honest, but don't quote me on that. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe this list is terrible. Trader Lord. Does he get wanna fight? I'm gonna put him at wanna fight. In fact, Trader Lord gets put up pretty high. Trader Lord gets put up very high. I actually didn't realize that, but I want to fight Trader Lord. He is a fun fight. And the only reason he's a super fun fight is because you have Shade Cloak at this time. And he times every attack based on Shade Cloak, and it feels so good dodging through him. Every single attack of this guy is punishable. And it just feels really good when you get into the rhythm of when he spins, and then you can either pogo, desolate dive, you can dodge right through and then hit him from behind. It's like there's multiple ways you can take out every single attack of his, and it feels good to punish him. Would I even put it higher? I might even put it higher. Yeah, I really like Trader Lord. Hollow Knight. Ooh. Final boss of the game. I think he's the top of Noise. It's the only one you can't really fight in the Pantheon again. Well, that and Zote, but he's... Look, in the end, you have to fight Radiance, let's be honest here. We know why we don't have Hollow Knight as a very difficult boss or like a super punishing boss. Don't worry, we'll get to the difficult one later. But for what he is in a final boss, I think he's alright. It's just that you have Radiance, which I'd put it just above the Hollow Knight. I think Radiance is very... Actually, I do like Radiance. Actually, I'm going to put it at S tier. I think this is an S tier fight. I think this peak. I think seeing the Radiance for the first time, and that meme, what do I have to do? Fight the sun? And then like you actually do, you have to fight the sun. You will never get that feeling from anything else. And I think that's what makes that fight. Peak fight, 100% peak fight. Better than the others? Actually, I would put it better. I put it better than Grey Prince Zote. I like fighting Grey Prince Zote, but I think the normal Radiance is just a perfect cap the fight, like for the game. Sorry, I think you couldn't really have done it better with that one. Like it's a perfectly challenging boss, and it's great for a final fight. Yeah. Wow, I'm surprising myself. Grim is awesome. I love this fight. I love the first fight, and let me tell you, I love the second one, just not as much. I know, just not as much. I prefer first Grim over second Grim. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I said it. Never let bro cook again. I know. I know. The most controversial tier list I'm doing. I feel like people are going to hate me for this one. Yep. I prefer the first Grim. First Grim is better. I don't care. Because you can punish all of his attacks a lot easier. I think it just makes for a better pacing in the fight. I feel like with Nightmare King, I'm getting like 1 or 2 hits. Don't get me wrong. I know how to hit Nightmare King. Once again, all bindings, done it. But I don't know, man. I think getting 1 or 2 hits, it's kind of nice. But I feel like when I can abuse a fight a little bit more, like Grimm's, I could just constantly do Abyss Shriek and wipe him out. That I like that speedrun tactic. I like doing the Cyclone Slash every time he shoots out the bats. I feel like he's just there for long enough so that you can punish it. Honestly, I feel like if I don't know if I'd say the fight is too fast for Nightmare King. I wouldn't really say that. I think he has good punish windows and stuff. I just like the fact that I can wail on the normal Grim a little bit more. And I think the novelty is worn off a little bit. But I do like the title screen of Nightmare King. I don't know. These are like interchangeable, I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I don't like normal Grim as much. I don't know. I'm gonna put it like this because I feel like I have just an inherent bias towards the first Grim. I also don't like Nightmare King's version, like, look as much as I like the normal Grim. I think normal Grim is just a better looking character as well. But honestly, I think if I were to put down bias, it's literally just because I liked normal Grim more than Nightmare King. I think the fight of Nightmare King is better, but they're both peak. They're both awesome. Aura and Mato, nice. They're a good fight. I like the fact that you can fight both of them. I like the fact that they take turns when they are trying to wail on you, so you don't deal with too many of the double up gank fights where they just overlap their attacks and kind of screw you over. I like that they sort of take turns with them, unless you attack them. I think if you attack them, they'll both just start wailing on you. So I like the turn taking. I like that they each have their own nail arts as well that do, I think, double hearts of damage. I haven't really been hit in a while, I don't remember, but I think they do double hearts. At least the dash slash does. I know the Cyclone Slash, I'm pretty sure it's just 1. Yeah, solid bosses. Do I like them more than the Hollow Knight? No, I think I like the atmosphere and whole vibe of the Hollow Knight more than I like Aura and Mato, but Aura and Mato are good fights. Paintmaster Shio. I think Paintmaster Shio is a top of A or one to fight. I really like fighting Paintmaster Shia. I think he's very squishy, but I think for him, that vibe feels right. Using the nail arts, especially when what you do is you charge up a dash slash and you dodge when he does the yellow paint attack. So when he hits you with that horizontal attack, you dodge through the paint and then you release a dash slash. Oh, such a good feeling. And I think for some reason, when he gets a knockback or like he explodes and he turns into a different, is in a different state, a certain amount of health down, the little white flash, it just feels different for him. That knockdown animation just feels different for him. It feels a lot better, for me at least. I don't know why, but it definitely has a different vibe to it, and I really like the fight. Sly, my boy. Great question. I like Sly a lot. I want to fight him. I think I put him here. But I really like that final phase. Oh, I might put him up here. That final phase is so satisfying to do. Where he's bouncing around the entire screen, he's doing like a Beyblade sort of hit. Oh, feels so good. The first phase, not as much. I don't really like it as much, but I still think his punish windows are really solid. I think they did a very good design for Sly. Just the fact that he can lug around a huge nail is just so entertaining. And yeah, having him as the final boss for Pantheon 3, fantastic fight. Sisters of Battle. Oh, yeah, honestly. Ooh, that's tough. I think I prefer Sisters of Battle over Nightmare King. Yeah, I don't know if that's controversial to say, but having, again, it's just Mantis Lords, but 3 of them, and they're all attacking you at the same time. The only bad thing about this fight is when you've killed 1 and then you have to wait for sort of the 2 and there's gaps in the fight. But I think as a 3, everybody knows when they got their first Pantheon 5, they opened up and they came in and they're like, holy crap, why is there 3 standing? You lose your mind the first time. It's crazy. I can't say the same thing for this guy, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, no, Winged Nosk is, didn't know how you could get worse than the normal Nosk, but they figured it out. Yeah, no, this boss sucks. Flies around, shoots goop. Not a fun fight. That's it. That's all there is to it. I don't like this fight. I hate this fight. I hate this fight so much. It's so boring. If we're going to go to the next one, Pure Vessel. Pure Vessel is the best Hollow Knight boss. Full stop. I will not deal with anybody else trying to argue. It is the best Hollow Knight boss. We'll see with Silksong, but as of like the first game, Pure Vessel is the best fight by far. It's not even debatable. It's just every single attack is punishable in multiple ways. When he jumps up in the air and shoots those knives down, you can park yourself right next to him and keep swinging up to get like 4 hits off of him. Or you can jump over and pogo and do other things. There's a bunch of different ways you can dodge all of his attacks, and everything is fast-paced. You get into a rhythm with the fight. Every single boss where you are in some form of dance are like the best bosses in the game. All of these bosses, with maybe the exception of Radiance, yeah, I think the rest of them, you could easily get into a dance with them or a flow state. Absolute Radiance. I don't like this boss as much as Normal Radiance. I think Normal Radiance had the vibe of being in like the final boss of the game. When I got to the final boss of the Pantheon, I found that it was just a harder version of Radiance. I was like, I really wish they had something else, you know, like, because you just gave me Pure Vessel, now you've given me Absolute Radiance. Going from Pure Vessel to Absolute Radiance is such a downer. Whereas going from normal Hollow Knight to normal Radiance, you go, whoa, this is cool. But we've seen this already. We've seen this. It's not as cool the second time, especially when this fight is fantastic. Radiance, Absolute Radiance is just not as fun. But they're still good. They're still a very good fight. I'm going to put them about here. I want to fight them again. I think they're a solid boss. I think this is the only boss that I haven't done all bindings. Yeah. I don't think I've beaten... no, I think I have. I think I have beaten this boss all bindings. But it wasn't easy. Yeah, the rest of them... I think that does it for my Hollow Knight list. I don't know. I feel like it's a decent list, but I definitely think that there's a few controversial opinions in there, like having normal Grim above Nightmare King, and then having Broken Vessel above Lost Kin, and then having normal Soul Master against Soul Tyrant. That one's not as controversial, I think. Yeah, I think it's a solid list. Maybe. Hopefully. Alright, now we're getting on to the Silksong bosses. Moss Mother. I like Moss Mother, not as much as False Knight. I would say I would put Moss Mother about here. I'd say the Beast Tamer is more fun to fight than a Moss Mother. If I compared it to Gruz Mother though, over here, I think Moss Mother is a better first fight. Gruz Mother is a little bit easy, but that's because the Knight is has a very basic moveset. If you're going into Silksong, you've played Hollow Knight, right? You should not be... Silksong... Hollow Knight is your guide for Silksong. It's like your introduction to Silksong. You know, you have to be a Hollow Knight player to play Silksong. Yeah. I think Moss Mother deserves this spot. Very basic attacks, very basic minions, but it's supposed to be. It's a first fight. But I think False Knight does it much better than Moss Mother. Bell Beast. I'm gonna be honest, I don't like this fight. I've done this fight like 10 times, probably. I liked it the first time, didn't really like it the second onwards. I think the one thing that bothers me about this fight is that the hitbox feels weird. I don't know how to explain it, but every time I fight the Bell Beast, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I don't know why. Like, I try to pogo it with the diagonal pogos. I just can't seem to get it right in any way. I just don't like it. It feels off. But I prefer it over Markoth and the guy that I can't remember the name of. Yeah. I'd say it's a decent fight, but I wouldn't put it something like above Beast Tamer or anything. Alright, I'm also going to forget a lot of the names of these fights because I just do not remember them all that well, because some of them, again, I've only fought once. So we'll find out. Once again, Skull Tyrant, that's his name. I actually prefer Skull Tyrant over these two. I know that doesn't seem to be a popular pick, but this fight actually, like, I feel like I'm getting rewarded for the hits that I throw out over this one where it's just super slow and I feel sluggish when I play it. A lot of these fights are just based on vibes, I'll be honest, at this rate, because I have so much experience with Hollow Knight. And then Silksong, I've got about 100 hours in it, so I would say I have a decent amount of time for these fights. I will say that there's 2 variants of Skull Tyrant. I don't think they put both variants in. It's the same fight. It's not amazing, but I don't know. I really like hitting him. There's something satisfying about him being hit and exploding. And that's literally what pushes it above Beast Tamer. Lace. Is Lace better or worse than Hornet? I'd say better. I'd say much better, actually. I prefer Lace over Hornet any day. Oh wow, I actually really do like this fight. I'd put him at the top of Noise. Yeah, I really like Lace. I think Hornet's abilities are so much more like acrobatic and aerodynamic, and I feel like all of these bosses down here are going to be on the average higher than the Hollow Knight bosses. I think this is an extremely solid fight. I really enjoy punishing Lace for like the attacks that she makes, and then when she counters you with her little parry move and then she goes to do a bunch of hits, and then you can still parry that as well, and or not parry it, but I mean technically you can parry it, but like pogo while she does it. Actually, like the more I think about it, the more I want to fight her. I actually put her on top of Want to Fight. This is a good boss. This is a really strong contender for an S tier ranking. I'm gonna be honest. Really solid fight. I like that fight a lot. Fourth chorus. Fourth chorus is fun, but he's not complex. I like him more than Galleon. I like him more than these guys. Ooh, do I like him more than Hornet? I think I do just barely. I just barely like fourth chorus more than Hornet. I think he's super basic, but that's okay for where you are in the game. I think he's much more of a spectacle boss fight than he is an actual boss fight. I think that's safe to say. I like the fact that on his last part of the phase, you can just hit the boulders from the ceiling and he just dies. So that's a pretty cool aspect of the fight. Yeah, I'm going to leave him there. I think he's a solid pick. Scar Ant, or the Ant Guard, Scarguard, is that his name? Scarguard? He's the big ant guy that's blocking the way, and I think you can fight him a few times. He's not really a boss. He's similar to Soul Warrior in the way that he's just kind of there. I don't like this fight. I don't think this fight is entertaining. I wouldn't even consider this a boss, really. But I like him more than these guys. I feel bad for Gorb. I feel so bad for Gorb. He doesn't deserve this treatment. I still don't like Gorb. I tried to like justify putting him higher. I just couldn't. All right, everyone's hatred. This boss, I don't even remember the name of it. Dragon, what is it? It's not Dragon Folly. That's a Terraria boss. It's the Beast in the thing. I don't remember. Beast Crest guy. I don't remember. Either way, not a good fight. Spawning in a bunch of minions that do double damage turns out a bad idea. I don't think you needed to experiment with that to realize that was a bad idea. I don't know why they decided that. I don't know why Team Cherry decided that they would do that. Not a good choice. Morwing! Morwing is S tier. I love Morwing. This is such a solid boss fight. Just brilliant. Like, the ability, I fought him on release day, actually. Day 1, I fought Morwing, so everything was double damage. The feeling of having that music in the background, and then, like, obviously if you've done the fight, you would know that music. It's like the feeling of hunting down this massive predator. It's like Monster Hunter, almost. You're hunting down this massive creature, and I had Garmond and Zaza with me. Such a good feeling. That was like a peak moment in the game for me. Just hunting down Morwing. So good. Such a good feeling. I would definitely put this top tier. Do I like him more than these guys? You know, the more I see Nightmare King Grim here, the less I agree with the placement. I prefer Morwing over Nightmare King. That's probably because I have a lot of familiarity with Nightmare King and less with Morwing. I'm gonna keep him over here because I think the more I fight him, the less I will enjoy this fight. But I do think this fight is really dynamic with his Saw Blades. Now his Saw Blades only do 1 damage now, I think, or one of them do. Something like that. There's an attack of his that only does 1 damage now. It used to do double damage. But I don't know. Do they really need to tune it down? Probably not. I don't think Morwing was really the issue. I think this guy over here was the problem. But okay, we'll keep Morwing down kick Morwing down a little bit. He didn't really need the nerfs. Same with Sister Splinter. This goes in S tier. I actually like Sister Splinter more than I like Morwing. Didn't need a nerf at all. I think Sister Splinter's nerf was the biggest middle finger to everybody. Why did they get a health nerf? It doesn't make sense. Even though it wasn't that big of a deal, I just don't think they should have been nerfed at all. They had the perfect difficulty. I fought this guy day 1. I beat Sister Splinter in like 2 or 3 turns, 2 or 3 attempts. Super easy fight. I think a lot of these fights so far I beat very easy. Lace I did first try. Moss Mother I did first try, obviously. Bellbeast actually took me a few. I think it took me about 4. Morwing took me a lot. Morwing was the first boss that I actually struggled with. Oh, actually, this guy took me a lot of attempts too. That took me like a full hour. Because I went like straight to the fight. I fought this guy before I fought Morwing. Sister Splinter was very short though. 2 turns. Widow, another one. I took 2 turns on Widow. I think Widow is up here. I've fought Widow again just recently, like yesterday. And I've fought her probably 6 times? 7 times? Yeah. I think she is such a solid boss. I am hoping for a more difficult variant of Widow in the Pantheons, sort of like a Sisters of Battle sort of thing. I think she 100% deserves it. She darts around all over the place, does double damage. Double damage is kind of nasty, but you sort of go into the boss fight and you know it's your fault when you get hit. Very punishing boss, very fun boss. The bells going everywhere while you're trying to fight, and like the music is so intense as well. Brilliant fight. Brilliant. Conch flies. The beginning fight is good. I'm going to put it up here. I like it more than Hollow Knight. I don't think I like it more than Soul Tyrant. Do I like it more than Soul Tyrant? Probably not, no. I think these guys are okay. They're just... I don't like their spitting out shells and how they drill around, and sometimes they overlap a little bit and I get distracted and get hit. It's kind of just a boring fight. It's pretty slow. At least to me, it was pretty slow. I did him in 2 tries. I beat him again just recently. Wasn't difficult. And even cutting up the footage, I was like, damn, this is boring. Yeah, not fun. But they're okay. Like, it's just a semi-boring fight. It's similar to the rest of these. I feel like Noise is like in a tier of, yeah, they're cool fights, but because I've fought them so many times, at least with the Hollow Knight bosses, I fought them so many times that I don't really care as much anymore. And these guys are just kind of boring, I guess, but they're still cool initially when you fight them. They were entertaining. Last Judge, on the other hand, boom! I like Last Judge even more than Widow. Actually, I like him more than Sisters, but actually, I like him more than Grim. Do I? Yeah, I do. I really like Last Judge. This boss is fun. I think this boss was a great challenge. I really enjoyed my first playthrough with Last Judge. Just struggling to beat the boss and going like, oh, okay, this is actually serious. A lot of people complain about the run back. I had the run back down within like 3 attempts. I don't know why so many people complain about the run back for this boss. It's not that bad. Obviously, I'm not advocating for run backs. I think they're stupid and you should just have a room outside the boss fight, obviously. But come on, I think we're being a bit dramatic when we're talking about the run back for this one. It's not that bad. We'll get to the run back king later. But yeah, this fight is so good. The swinging of the giant, what is it? I don't know what the weapon they're actually, it's like a bell chandelier thing. It's ball and chain. It's a ball and chain. But the fact that they utilize flames afterwards and then it alters the way you move around the fight, so good. So good. The only reason I'm not putting it above Pure Vessel is because I believe I will not enjoy it as much over time. I still think Pure Vessel is just like the gold standard for boss fights, but Last Judge, I really enjoy Last Judge. Oh, another S tier fight, another S tier, and I'm putting it just above Widow. I think Phantom is an extremely fun fight. Phantom needs a harder variant as well, I think. I feel like a lot of these Silksong bosses that are just S tier need harder variants. Phantom, Widow, and Last Judge. If they had harder variants, maybe not Last Judge, I feel like it's going to get the Failed Champion treatment or the False Knight treatment. They might make it sort of unfun. But Phantom, I definitely could see. I think they've already made, what, Faded Phantom? I think that's a harder variant. I'm going to try fighting that boss soon, but yeah, I definitely like Phantom's kit. I think getting cross-stitch, especially the parry, oh, that is such a bonus. Really good style to her. I think she's also got a skin. I want to use the Phantom skin. The Phantom skin looks really cool. But yeah, I just love this fight. I think the fast combat, it's the same as Widow, where it's like fast combat, fast pace, you can punish everything, and all of the attacks look really cool. So just a fantastic fight. But I have only fought them, I think, 3 times. So I don't have as much experience with Phantom as I do Last Judge. So maybe over time, Phantom would sneak up. but we'll see. Cogwork Dancers! Everybody loves Cogwork Dancers. They are definitely S tier, but I would not put them... I'd put them here. I like them a lot, but I don't like them as much as Phantom and Last Judge. I think they're too telegraphed. That was sort of the problem that I had with the fight, because I think, what did I do? I beat Phantom in 2 tries. I beat Cogwork Dancers in 3. Neither of these fights I remembered my first playthrough for because I beat them so fast and I was sort of just like spamming moves and it worked. I went and fought both of them again. I think Phantom's the better fight. I don't enjoy Cogwork Dancers as much. They're just, I'm going to be honest, they're too slow. like I actually want a harder variant of these guys. These ones are the guys that I think need the Sisters of Battle treatment. And I know that there's a later version. I know that those guys, but I don't think that did the Cogwork Dancers justice. I want a harder, like, version of them. I beat these guys in 3 attempts. I beat what? This one. I beat that one in 2. So I spent a total of 5 attempts against both these bosses. Not difficult at all. I want something harder. I need something harder. But the fact that you can punish these guys very well, and I like the fact that they telegraph all of their attacks perfectly. So it is 100% your fault if you get hit. There's no excuse for like missing an attack or so, getting punished for something. Yeah, that's why I like them. Trobio's an S tier. I really like Trobio. Oh, I really like Trobio. Damn, I'm realizing like how good half of these Silksong bosses are. God damn. Comparing them with the Hollow Knight bosses is so good because it really puts into perspective how much you enjoy them. Ow! Just hit my elbow. Because I feel like I would have put a lot of these guys in A tier, but now that I'm putting it up against the Hollow Knight bosses, it actually goes to show how top heavy these guys are. But Trobio, I think originally when I played, I found this boss to be really frustrating, but I think on the rematch, I enjoyed him a lot more. This boss took me quite a few attempts, I believe, because he just danced around. I couldn't figure out his explosions and all of his stuff, and I kept trying to chase him, and it was kind of frustrating. That tornado attack, I think, is a little bit annoying, but other than that, solid fight. Very solid fight. I very much enjoy Trobio. I don't even remember what this boss is called. Is this even a boss? I'm gonna put him there. This is like one of the worst fights in the game, I'm gonna be honest. It's just boring. What do you even say about this fight? There's nothing to say. There's absolutely nothing to say. He spits and you hit him. That's it. Good game design. Double Moss Mother. I just realized there's not a third variant, which is like the corrupted one. I'm just gonna say the corrupted one would go around here, and Double Moss Mother would go probably about here. I would say they're alright. They're better than the first one because, I mean, obviously, there's 2 of them, so it's more challenging. But other than that, they're not that fun. And the corrupted variant that I would put like around here, I just don't think is much better. They're kind of boring fights. There's not really much to say about them. It's just 2 Moss Mothers. The big guy, he's kind of boring, not gonna lie. He had like 1 attack, I think. I actually don't remember this fight at all because it was so fast. I just remember being kind of bored when I did. I was like, oh, okay, that's it. That's the fight. Done. The giant flea. There was nothing much on that one. The chef, Lugalai, is that their name? She throws a dumpy at you, and I don't like it. But it's better than these guys, that's for sure. I'm gonna put them there. I think the muck is what annoyed me the most about this fight, because when it splits out and hits you, it puts the maggot debuff on you, and that's so frustrating. That's so annoying. Oh no, I hate this boss. This boss sucks. Cygnus and Gron. Cygnus and Gron are solid fights. I'm gonna put them like right about here. I don't like them as much as the conch flies. but I like them more than the fourth chorus. Cygnus and Gron, one of them sort of like spin their blade around, and one of them sort of attack you from a range, from what I remember. I've only fought these guys once. They weren't amazing, and there was like lava in the arena. That's pretty much it. I just think you could get rid of one pretty easily, and then you just have to get rid of the other one. There's not much to really say about them. They're kind of mid-tier fights. It's a mid-tier fight. Do I actually like them as much as... I'm going to put them there, actually, because I feel like I enjoy these guys a lot more than I like Cygnus and Gron. Oh, the second fight. It's a little bit better than the first, because I beat it in 2 attempts. We're not talking about it. That's just my... This is my list. I get to make it up. Father of the Flame is low, because I kind of hate this boss. I've fought this guy once, and I used... What was it? I used the Hunter's Crest the entire game. This is kind of my fault, because for majority of the game I had, I think I had no nail upgrade, or no needle upgrade, because I didn't realize you could upgrade the needle. I just kind of walked back once Bellharp was freed. I just kind of, you know, ignored it and didn't pay attention, so I didn't actually upgrade my nail, and I think I fought this with a 0 upgraded nail. And it was just frustrating. Like, I wasn't having fun. It was just a bunch of... I think the fact that you don't get soul in this fight is what annoyed me the most. If you got soul from hitting the little lantern things, this fight would be so much better. At least to me, it would be so much better. And people are going to be like, oh, that's a skill issue. You had trouble with it. I beat it in like 3 attempts. It was not hard. Or 2 or 3 attempts. It was easy. But it just wasn't fun. I prefer fighting Moss Mother 100 times over Father of the Flame. Maybe I'll change my mind when I replay the game and actually get up to him again. So, who knows? Maybe I'll do that. What's this one's name? The something Mother. Brood Mother, I think. This fight... It wasn't hard. It was just kind of boring. It didn't really leave much of an impact. It summoned ads that exploded, and then you hit them, and it like dived occasionally and sat down. This boss kind of sucked, I'm not gonna lie. This is kind of boring. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it there and hope for the best. Oh, Sentinel. Ooh, Sentinel gets an S tier, 100%. This fight is so good. The spinning around, the double blade, like, that's awesome. This fight is so cool. And then assembling all of the cog heart pieces together and fixing it. And then it fights with you for a little bit before it decides to challenge you. Great storyline for a boss. Very solid. I might even put him there. Do I like him as much as Morwing? I feel like I'm putting these guys too high up. I feel like these guys go like this, and then Sentinel I'm gonna put higher than Radiance. Yeah, I feel like that's right. I enjoy Radiance a lot more than I enjoy Sister Splinter or Morwing. But they're still very strong fights. What else? Let's see. What's next? I don't remember the name for this fight. He just dashes around, shoots blades from the ground, and I think summons ads. Yeah, I think he summons ads, but they're not amazing. I think this fight is just boring. I'm gonna put him here. Because, like, he didn't kind of annoy me, but it was just, meh. I think Bellbeast actually deserves a little bit more love than this. I think I'll put Bellbeast here. Because I liked Bellbeast more than I like this guy. It was kind of dull, boring fight, not much to it. Okay. The only thing I can say is that I have not fought this boss. Because I keep missing him on my journey. But from what I've seen, he's okay. But Garmund and Zaza are just like, they walk around and they wave their stick, from what I've seen. The arena looks really cool though. I think the arena gets ups for it, but once again, I don't think this boss is all that interesting. He deserves lower than Bellbeast, I'll be honest. He's probably about here. He's decent. Ooh, Ooh, Chakra. Chakra's good. I think want to fight. I want to fight Chakra again. A very fast-paced boss. The little chakrams going everywhere, really cool. I think that's a big bonus for this boss. Just keeping the distance, throwing stuff, and then hitting with the shield, like circle attack, basically. The giant shockwave. Really cool fight. Solid. This is my favorite fight. This is my favorite fight by far. I didn't even remember the name. What is it? First Sinner. First Sinner. I pray this has a more difficult variant that gets introduced. When I first played Silksong, I fought this guy with like 6 hearts, no nail upgrades, and I beat it in 2 attempts. I remember in that moment, the feeling that I had fighting this boss, I was like, I am never going to get this feeling fighting another boss. First Sinner is the best Hollow Knight boss I have fought. There is no competition. I love this fight. It just feels perfect. My sister, on the other hand, hates this fight. She actually thinks this is one of the worst fights. I don't know why, but First Sinner is brilliant. I love First Sinner. Lace 2. I think Lace 2 is S tier as well. I think this is a really solid fight. This one actually took me quite a few attempts, which is not something I can say for a lot of Silksong bosses, I'll be honest. Like, Second Sentinel, 2 attempts. First Sinner, 2 attempts. But Lace took me 3. Lace took me 3, I think. No, must be more. Surely not 3. I think it was more than 3. Yeah, I think the fight is solid. Not really much to say because it's in between the other 2 fights, but I think the Flower Arena is really good. I think, obviously, the setting is just peak, top of the cradle. Or, well, not top of the cradle, but like in the cradle. Really nice setting for a fight to take place. Atmosphere was perfect. The fight itself, she's fast, but she's not too fast. You can definitely like punish all of her moves, and I think that makes for a good S tier fight, really. Groll. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it at that. Groll is an okay boss behind a terrible arena. And I can't separate the 2 because the arena is part of the boss fight. And it's terrible. It is such an awful arena. I hate going to this arena. I just did it recently in Steel Soul. It was awful. And then Groll, oh my god, having to fight this guy with the muck maggots everywhere. Oh, awful, awful fight. I don't like it. I don't like it. Just, if you've fought the boss, and the worst run back in the entire game, so instant down. They could have made this boss so much more, but they didn't. Oh, Mother of Silk? Silk Mother? I think it's Mother of Silk. Better than Absrad. Worse than Radiance. I think this final boss is not as impactful as Radiance, because we were sort of expecting another one of these sorts of fights, and I think, I don't know, I just feel like this one was a lot less impactful than the Radiance. I think Radiance was one of the wall fights. This one was not as impactful as a final boss. It was better than the Hollow Knight, but not as peak as Radiance. Attacks are good though. She is the only character in the game, I think, that does a triple mask hit. I've never got hit by another triple mask, so I think that's it. But all of her attacks doing double damage. She's very similar to Radiance, so the spikes, for instance, coming out of the floor, but you can hit them down, which is quite nice. And I think the reason this boss is quite easy is because you need to do that quest for the Witch Crest, which makes sense because it would be an absolute pain in the butt if you have to fight a difficult boss for the Witch Crest ability. Not fun. Or the quest for that. Bell Eater. Where would I put Bell Eater? I enjoyed the belly to boss fight, actually. I'm going to put him up here. I think this is... I reverse psychologied myself into thinking this boss didn't exist because I searched how to get into Act 3 and then I found out about this boss. And then I was like, I saw like a little frame of it and I was like, that looks like a fan animated thing. No, this boss actually exists in the game and it's a difficult fight. It's a fun fight. I enjoyed it at least. I have heard a lot of people don't enjoy this fight. I didn't think it was too bad. I have only fought it once though, so maybe over time I will disagree with myself. But as of right now, I would want to fight it again. That was fun. Volt Worms, or Volt Filaments, or whatever they are. The Volt Worms, I think. Volt Filaments are the item. Boring to you. They're not as offensive as Groll, but they're not amazing either. I'm gonna put them like here. Just no impact. They shoot lasers and electricity and you just walk out of the way. Not fun, not interesting, boring. Next, Enraged Conchfly, I'm gonna put him about there. This was a good fight, solid fight. It's because it's only one, he summons the ads, but he actually uses them as an attack, which is so much better than just having them fly around the stage. That would have been so frustrating. But having him zip up and down through the town and having to punish that, solid fight, solid fast pace, everything you want in a fast paced boss fight. I think Lace is too high. I'm gonna put Lace about here. I think I'm getting Lace a bit too much credit because I think these guys are better. I actually prefer Enraged Conchfly over Chakra. Yeah, I'm gonna put him there. Next, Watcher at the end. I don't remember a lot about this fight. He was okay though. I remember he was a decent fight. He swung his sword up and down and he chased you. And I liked the fact that he was like human size or just like a character size. It was a good solid one-on-one, but I just don't think he was that amazing. It wasn't too much of a spectacle, but he wasn't trying to be, and I think that's what makes him kind of cool. I'm going to put him at the top of Noise. Yeah, I like him more than the Conchfly. Probably not as much as Bellida, but he's a solid fight. Just really nice to fight. Lost Garmond. He just kind of spits stuff everywhere. I'm going to put him at the top here. I don't really like the fight. I don't like a lot of the corrupted enemies in general, and I think kind of brings it down a bit. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed by this fight. I really thought there'd be more to it. Kind of swings around his stuff, shoots out his goop. That's about it, but half the enemies do that, so meh. Crawfather. I've only fought this guy once. I kind of liked him. He's kind of up here for me. I want to fight him again. The only ad fight that was actually good. Summons the guys to fight you, and then he'll come down and like peck at the ground a bunch of times. That's it. Those good vibes. I liked the fight. I think he's just tanky enough to take your needle hits well, but he's also not too tanky that he'll outlast his welcome. Solid fight. I forgot his name. I'm not even going to try and remember his name. I forgot his name. He's not a good fight. If you fought it, he's the scientist guy that injects himself with lifeblood, and he's kind of mid. Not even mid, he kind of booty cheeks, not gonna lie. Do I give him Scar Guard treatment? Or like this guy? He's not as bad as that guy, the Cragling or whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. He's a booty cheeks fight, boring. He just spits out stuff and hopes for the best and regenerates. Needle Master? Pin... I forgot her title. Pin Master, Pinterest. The Needle Master girl. She's alright, I guess. But she flew away a lot. And that kind of annoyed me, I'm not gonna lie. I was not having fun having to chase this boss down, but her charge attack was alright. I like her more than Galleon. I like her more than False Knight. I definitely like her more than... I'd say around here. Cygnus and Gron weren't as fun, but I definitely would say more iconic fights like Dung Defender, Hive Knight, White Defender. They're just better fights in general, I think. Ger the Outcast. So many people are gonna hate me for this. That's right. This boss deserves this place. I hated this boss. This was my, like, at the time, of when I fought this boss. Actually, deserves definitely more in hindsight. Actually, I deserve above Growl 100%. But like when I was fighting this boss, I've only fought it once. When I was fighting it, I hated it. This was probably the one I hated the most out of all the bosses that I have fought. This one was the one that annoyed me the most. Like, I beat it in 2 attempts, but it was the traps that were going everywhere. I just didn't enjoy the fact that he was just a big hitbox running around all over the place, which actually reminds me of Growl. Growl, his jump is the reason I don't like his attacks either. When he jumps up in the air, like, you can't predict it. It just goes whoop, and him jumping does 2 masks of damage. This guy running around all over the place is 2 masks of damage. Not fun. Terrible, terrible boss. But I definitely know I'm in the minority for that one. So it is what it is. Tormented Trobio is not as fun as the original Trobio. I think the explosions are too much. It's too flashy. And that was from what I remember. Again, I've only fought this boss once. A lot of the Act 3 bosses I've only fought once. Well, actually, no, all of the Act 3 bosses I've only fought once. I haven't got to Act 3 again, but just from memory, Tormented Trobio was not as fun as the first fight. I think he's still very good though. I was kind of frustrated with this boss because it was just like so flashy and the double damage was kind of nuts. At least from what I remember, there was double damage. I do want to fight him again. Put him in between these two because I would rather fight Trader Lord than I would Tormented Trobio. Because I like Trader Lord. But I'll have to see with my Tormented Trobio. This list might be absolutely cooked. The Stag, frick the Stag, this was terrible. The only reason this is better than Elder Who is because it doesn't completely teleport away and you just have to wait for the attack. But double damage, I think the Stag does double damage as well. Not fun. These guys are the Prince, Green Prince. Not as good as the Cogwork Dancers. I still think they're S tier. I like them more than Lace 2. I think Green Prince deserves this. I would say I quite like them. Yeah. Not as good as the Cogwork, but still really solid. I like their conjoined attack where they do the wind. That's a really nice attack because it makes you utilize all of your options that you have for movement. And then the only issue is that I think the fight is too short. It's too easy. Cogwork Dancers I feel were spaced out a lot better, and they're like getting introduced to the Green Prince's story through Cogwork Dancers of the robots, and then having one of them break down and dance without the other one. That's really cool, but I think the Spirit one, as much as it's a great story, just wasn't as strong. I remember I did it in 2 tries. So I beat it and I was like, that's it? So I think if the biggest problem I had with the fight is that I wanted more of it, it deserves peak. It's an S tier. It's awesome. Maybe I should have like a peak and then a godlike tier, because I feel like a lot of these guys are ones that I would want to put in a tier above. Can I make a new tier? I'm gonna just put best. Best fights are these ones. I'm gonna put these ones. I think these ones are better than the ones here. Even though I like all of these a lot. Crust King Khan. I want to fight him again. Like, he's good. He's a good fight. He's very much like the Mantis Lords. I'd say these two are sort of interchangeable. I feel like I've got Lace too high, but I don't know. Do I prefer Lace or Crust King Khan? I think I prefer Crust King Khan. Yeah. I think I'm gonna put it like that. No, I definitely like him more. No, I definitely like him more. Yeah, I'm gonna put him there. I like the fact that he shoots out his arm and then the giant coral just goes whoa and comes out of his like walls and stuff. And then he defends himself with the walls of coral as well. I don't like the fights that lead up to it. I think the arenas are kind of mid, but yeah, this guy is awesome. Seth. Oh, Seth is S. 100%. Seth is a peak boss. But where do I put him? I think Seth goes here. Seth, his whole thing with, like, based on the actual person that died when they were making this game, I think they couldn't have done his character more justice. Such a good character. Just this random guardian of Nihilith. Super fun fight, super punishing. I've seen a Beast Crest playthrough with against Seth, and the pogos the Beast Crest can do with Seth's dives are really unique. So I think having a bunch of different ways you can deal with Seth is another good factor of it. Again, one of those small punishing boss fights, similar to Widow, similar to Phantom, similar to the Cogwork Dancers. Just good. Nihilith. I don't like Nihilith as much. I think Nihilith is okay because it's purely uniquely like a wall boss. And I don't think there's another one of those in the game. Yeah, I think Nihilith is the only one that uniquely does that with no flaw, and you have to sort of float. I did it first try though, so I don't remember too much about the fight. I've seen playthroughs and I've seen the battle a few times, but again, it's not going to blow your socks off, but it's a good fight. Yeah. I put it about here. Do I prefer Watcher at the end though? That's true. I'm going to bring Watcher up actually. I think Watcher's around here. Actually, I prefer him over Crawfather. Yeah, I'm going to bring Watcher up here. I think Watcher's better. Silksong Carmelita. She is going to be all the way in second place with the best. She speaks for herself, really. Like, let's be honest here. This boss is peak. I hope. Fingers crossed, harder variant. Fingers crossed we get a better one. We want a better one. We want a stronger Carmelita. That would make my Christmas list, let me tell you. But right now, First Sinner, I think, is going to just squeak out above it. Actually, no, not just. I definitely prefer First Sinner, but Silksong Carmelita is a fantastic boss, and I probably just prefer her over Pure Vessel because I haven't mastered her attacks. I only fought her one time, well, through one playthrough, but in that moment I was like, damn, this is a good boss. And the final boss, Lost Lace. Oh, she's not going down there, trust me. I'm going to put her at the top of Peak. I think I prefer Grim as a fight, so I wouldn't put her above, but I do prefer her over Sisters Battle. I just have a very special place for Grim. Yeah, this fight is fantastic. My sister hates this fight as well, because it's very punishing. I do understand it was a little bit frustrating, but this is easily the hardest fight in the game. Definitely. By far, this is the hardest fight. I think this one took me 2 hours to fight. Yeah, I think it was 2 hours. And it was probably around 30 attempts. I'd say 30 attempts probably, maybe 20 something. I'll probably toss it around that. 2 hours though is quite a long time for a boss fight. Actually no, it'd probably be longer than 30 attempts considering how short the fight is. I don't know. Either way, having 3 phases, kinda nuts. Or is it 4 phases? Might even be 4. Beating her for the first time was ecstatic. Just a great feeling. And then she's very punishing, but like once you figure out the rhythm to it, you're like, okay, I can beat this now. And it's a very gradual process for this boss, especially. You have to figure out every single attack uniquely because she'll punish your punishes almost. So when she parries you, she'll either fly up into the air and do like an attack, or then she'll teleport, or no, she won't teleport behind you. She'll just lunge forward and do the attack. So you have to sort of position yourself in a way that you're not going to get punished by her almost predicting your movement. Makes for a very hard boss, but it's very fast paced, and I would say it's a good final boss to have. The only thing that doesn't put it as like the best of the best for me is that this is the 3rd Lace fight, and I do have to say it's kind of disappointing to have 3 Lace fights and one of them be your true final boss. Like, can we get something a little bit different? I would have appreciated it if they changed up what the final boss actually was. It makes sense lore-wise, so like it gives it points, but I would have preferred something a little bit different. So yeah, that's my list. I don't know how I feel about it. Let's just have a look at everything. I'd say bottom is, yeah, that's right. I would say the second one is relatively good too. Actually, Ger the Outcast, you can get higher. Much higher, actually. I don't hate you. I just don't like you that much. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to do that. Yeah, that's how I feel at the moment for him. I feel like my A tier might be a little bit bloated with Silksong bosses, but that's probably because of like recency bias, so I don't hate them as much, but I think all of these bosses are pretty fair to put in an S tier. I think they're all decent. Maybe even... I think I'm going to trade out Lace 2 with Chakra. I think Chakra is more fun. Oh, but the Enraged Conchfly is so fun. I think I might do that. Oh, I don't know. I think I might do that, actually. Do that. I think I like them more like this. I think I'll switch them around. I think this is around about how I feel about the bosses. I'm going to go with that. So yeah, I think what I've learned overall is that I'm still ethereal. I have no idea what's going on with my camera. Just ignore it. I think overall, there's a very clear pattern that I like the punishing bosses more. The ones that are more fast-paced and actually show off their attacks, whereas the more random ones that just summon adds are kind of boring, so I've got them a lot lower. The thing that I've learned is that all Hollow Knight bosses are still pretty fun. The lowest of the low can still be fun for some people, even though it shouldn't be. And that's sweet.